Siema!
And welcome to the channel. Welcome to Beyond Borders and welcome to the Polish series, which is probably about 20 videos deep.
Oh yes, and like a few days before we are going to our first big Polish city.
Wrocław.
Yes, Wrocław.
Which we will be headed to in the next couple of days.
I'm very excited.
We are super excited. Thank you to everyone that has given us really good recommendations. We are eagerly anticipating our journey to the beautiful country of Poland that we are pretty well equipped to travel. I don't think we've ever learned so much about a country before visiting, which we are super excited about.
Yeah.
The journey has been pretty cool leading up to this point, and we thank you for watching all of our videos and encouraging us to make these videos and put them out there. Over 90% of you, however, are not subscribed to our channel.
Please subscribe.
So if you're one of those people and you're not subscribed to our channel, then please give it a subscribe and give it a thumbs up as well if you enjoyed these videos. It just makes us want to do it more and gives us motivation to do it.
Really does.
And if you are keen to follow us on our journey to Wrocław, then you can also follow us on one of our social media channels, which I will link down below.
Amazing.
Amazing. But before we get into the trip, we thought we would still go through a couple more videos. And I feel like pretty well equipped now in terms of knowing the facts about Poland.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused about this one, because I don't think that there are any more facts that we can learn that we don't know.
But I had seen somewhere where this guy had made a few mistakes. So I'm keen to see if we can maybe correct someone that has put out some false facts about Poland.
Okay, so we're going to watch or correct someone else's false interesting facts.
So this is 10 interesting facts about Poland, and even though we are pretty well diverse in the Polish culture and the language and everything about the country, we thought why not give it another go and see if we can maybe see something that we don't know.
Yeah.
So let's get straight into the video.
Gotowi? Zaczynamy.
Which means?
Ready? Let's go.
Cool. Poland is not a very large country.
I've read that before.
But it's also not a small country.
Beauty, it comes to us when we least expect it, although it is all around us. And when it's there, it usually is followed by uncertainty, excitement, confusion, and hope. And in the world, there are many places that spark these moments within our emotions, making us bigger and better people, enjoying the moments we have with one another or with the vast scenery around us. And here on FTD Facts, we are talking about one of the most beautiful countries in the entire world, and that is the country of Poland.
I think he got that pretty spot on with the introduction. I mean, from all the videos we've seen and everything that we've researched, I mean, Poland is a pretty amazing country that has it all.
It's so diverse and beautiful. It's got something for everyone.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Dave Wapple here, and today is pretty sweet because, last couple of weeks we've been talking about, places like Sweden, and I felt like today is a day where we got to talk about Poland because it seems to be a very cool place, and I know a few people from Poland who are absolutely amazing. Now, before I get in this video, I want to know from all you guys out there in the real world, I want to know, what do you guys cherish most? Be sure to let me know what is the most important thing to you. Put it down there so I can read it. Also, for those who have just joined us here for the first time, this is a
Duck, I wonder if that is Poland. I don't think that is. Can't be.
Why?
It just looks too green and too sandy. I know they have a sea in the north, but that doesn't look...
I mean, too green. Are you calling Poland too green?
No, but
the country that has one of the biggest amounts of forests.
But that coastline doesn't look like Poland.
Is it Poland?
I could be wrong.
The channel where we talk about people, places, and things from all around the world, and with that, we want recommendations from you guys. And with that in mind, a lot of you guys, such as Avandis Dad Heech, Hazez Hala, Zua, Mercy, Forgive Jonathan Jesus, and many more of you guys wanted us to talk about Poland, and it is a really highly requested video. So let's get talking.
Some of the people's names, even on that comment on our stuff, like, I don't know if it's just YouTube that gives you the tagline, the username, but some of them are really, really funny.
About Poland, guys, I'm excited to learn about it. Sweden was cool, all the other countries we've talked about, but here is Poland time. Poland is the Eastern European country that sits...
Did you hear what he just said?
Yes.
It is not Eastern European.
It is a Central European country.
That is our first correction.
Yes, dude. Learn your facts.
Sits right beside the Baltic Sea. And as of 2010, it is a country that has over 38 million people stretched out over a landscape of 312,679 square kilometers. This makes the country have 123 people per square kilometer. Now, the one thing that I didn't know about Poland is that apparently if you call somebody a Polak, it's a really offensive term. I didn't really know that. I always thought it was kind of like just slang for being like, hey.
Polak. I didn't know that. So if you call someone from Poland a Polak, it's offensive.
It's the first time I hear that.
Well, it's good to know. I've never heard of the word before that.
Exactly.
So I would never have called someone a Polak.
No.
But I wonder why. It's offensive.
Yeah.
Yay, you're a Polish person. But apparently it is a very derogative and negative offensive term towards Polish people, but if you want a short term for a Polish person, you either call them Polish or a Pole. Now, even though some Polish people may take offense to this word, the country is made up of great people who strive for a better future. And Poland itself is a country that has a really extensive history, just like most of the countries that we do talk about. But with this history, it's got great moments and also really sad moments. For example, the people of Poland are really excited to celebrate their independence. Now, this happened on November 11th, 1918, when they declared themselves their own republic from Russia. And throughout the Second World War, this Day of Independence was banned in 1939 because of German influence within the country. And even though the Germans got their butt kicked in World War II, their independence wasn't celebrated again until 1989 when the communist government was kicked out, which is kind of...
I think we've pretty much, summed that up in a lot of the historic videos that we've watched. Poland, obviously been through a lot and seen basically how Poles have literally come from the ashes and risen from the ashes every single time.
Unconquered.
Unconquered people.
Undefeated.
Super hard workers.
Unbroken.
We can just go on. But I think that's where our love for the country stems from. It's not just the country, but also the people and what they've been through. And I don't think a lot of people actually know a lot about Poland and its culture and its history. And I think if they did, they would probably also appreciate it just as much as we do.
I think our channel is a good place to start to learn about Poland. For all you guys who are not familiar, please go watch our previous videos. We have incredible amount of information on Poland, and it will just give you more reason to want to go visit.
It's kind of fascinating to me because I didn't think that Poland was going to be communist after the war. And speaking of history, we'll dive more into that into a future episode. But for now,
they weren't communist after the war. It wasn't by choice. It was Russian influence and almost under Russian control. Yeah. It wasn't the Poles that chose to be under that rule.
Yes.
Western allies after the war, America, UK, they just left Poland. After the Poles fought so hard amongst the allies. And everyone has said that we should watch the Battle of Great Britain, which is like an hour-long video, which we are going to do at some point. It's in the pipeline of videos. I think when we are nice and settled after our trip, we will definitely do a reaction video to that and basically give our opinion on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
For now, let's just talk about some really cool facts about the country itself. For example, Poland has some many interesting features about the country. Many of you may picture Poland and see it as a lowlands or plains and not very mountainous. But in fact, that's absolutely incorrect because, well, Poland down to the southern regions has a lot of mountains.
The cool thing about Poland is just what he's mentioned now. Like, you think it's flat, but from all the videos that we've watched,
we know it's not flat.
It's not flat. super diverse. And in the south, they've got the Zakopane Mountains, which we're also planning a ski trip there, which I'm super, super excited about.
These are the Carpathian and Sudet mountain ranges, and the two highest are the Tatras Mountains.
Wow.
And the tallest of the Tatras Mountains that's in Poland is the Rysy Mountain, coming in at 2,503 meters tall, or 8,212 feet. It is a great place to climb and hike, except for it is closed from November 1st to June 15th, which makes sense because of the winter seasons. Now let's step away from nature for just a sec and let's talk about Polish culture. First of all, the capital of Poland is Warsaw, and out of all the cities, it is the largest city with a population of 1.8 million people. It was founded in 1200 AD, with the St. John's Archcathedral Church in Warsaw being one of the oldest cathedrals in the city, and it is so old that it is considered a UNESCO site. And speaking of city ages, Gdansk...
I'm blown away still by how many World Heritage UNESCO sites Poland has. I think like every city square, Old Town is a World Heritage site, and every capital, or every big major city, including the capital of Warsaw, has got so many UNESCO sites.
No, absolutely. It's just rich with history.
Gdansk has over 460,000 people, and it is one of, if not the oldest major city within Poland. Being founded in 997 AD by Mieszko I of Poland, who is the ruler of the Poles in...
Do you remember from the anime history, Mieszko,
Yes,
the founder of Poland?
I know.
960. And when we think of Poland, we might think of Polish beer or vodka or just having drinks in Poland for a good time. And not saying that the Poles are a bunch of drunks, but like us Canadians, over here we do enjoy a good bevy. But as for alcohol, they estimate that a Polish person drinks 92 liters of beer a year. And for their drinking laws, you have to be over 18 years old to legally purchase alcohol, but keep in mind that's just purchase because I couldn't find anything that stated whether or not it was legal for people under the age of 18 to drink alcohol. But on
Okay, so yes, he mentioned a stat about per person drinking how many liters of beer, but South Africans,
We drink just as much beer, if not more beer.
I think we might drink more beer.
But it doesn't make a country just because they drink so much beer or alcoholics. I just think that's part of the culture.
No, it's not. It's not nothing to do with alcoholics. It's just a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's a nation that enjoys their beer and enjoys their drinks. And South Africans are, everyone says we're thirsty people because we love our beer. And that's just our culture.
But what I'm surprised about though is that he mentioned beer, but Poles for vodka. Like I still would love to know what do Poles prefer. Do they prefer vodka or beer? Like what is their favorite?
Now, I think what someone mentioned one day was that for special occasions or like for a shot, you'd have vodka. And then to sit around a table with your friends, you'd have a beer and a glass of wine.
I think people generally, like if you compare it to Germany, will have like wine and beer.
Normal.
Just normal. And then normally to end off the evening, they bring out the vodka.
Yeah, or to celebrate something like cheers, shot. Yeah.
On top of that, if you drank in the streets of Poland or the parks of Poland, it would be considered illegal. Considering
That is something that is like when you go from Germany to another European city, you sometimes forget that drinking in public is not allowed.
We certainly have.
Well, yeah.
When we were in Szczecin, we didn't realize that you couldn't drink beer or alcohol in public.
But there was like 500 young people sitting along what was that river called?
Oder.
Or the Oder River. And they were all with the beers in the hand and drinking. So we didn't know that it wasn't allowed. So we sat there next to them and we spoke to them.
But someone said that area in specific, you're allowed to drink, but nowhere outside of that area.
Well, then we weren't wrong.
But problem is we left that area and we were still drinking.
Now you're incriminating us on YouTube.
We didn't know, okay?
We didn't.
And we actually walked past police and they were okay.
considering we're on the topic of drinking, we might as well talk about smoking, because smoking is banned in indoor restaurants, workplaces, indoor public places, and of course you have to be 18 years old to do that as well. And the one thing that smoking and drinking have in common is that they are related to the healthcare system. The healthcare system in Poland is free for everyone and is provided by the National Health Fund. However, if you want free healthcare, you have to be insured, and that's usually done by an employer. Now,
what I'd heard, though, is everyone was saying that the healthcare in Poland wasn't so great because the government had pumped in a lot of money into the military over the past couple of years. So even though the healthcare is good and like free, because, well, not free because you pay the health insurance fund by the employer, there's not a lot of money invested into the medical system, and that's why it's like apparently not as great as other countries.
I am very curious as to what level of not so good that is, because if we compare it to our not so good in South Africa, that is, our public hospitals are atrocious.
You would go in there to take your appendix out and they'd amputate your leg. That's actually happened. So
it's just very bad, and it's that they never have enough beds, and there's just a lot of corruption that has happened there, and the machines are all outdated, and the people are just not getting better there. I feel like you have a better chance of not going to the hospital than going there.
Put it this way, if you don't have private medical care in South Africa and you need to go to a hospital, your chances of making it is very slim.
Very, very slim. So I'm wondering, like, we have seen in previous videos and read a lot of comments where people mention that the healthcare is not as good, but I'm thinking that they're comparing it to the European standard of public healthcare. So I think even for us, that would be really good.
And acceptable.
And acceptable, so.
Agreed.
Now, there are also private healthcare systems where citizens have to pay full amounts, but as their constitution, it states that everyone is entitled to healthcare. And in 2013, a study found out that 61% of citizens have used private healthcare, as well as 91% of pregnant women. Now let's jump back to a little more culture, because one thing that's fascinating about Poland is that it has 14 UNESCO or UNESCO zones. Excluding the entire town of Warsaw, which is an entire site, the country has a range from...
Oh.
Do you remember why Warsaw, the entire city, is a World Heritage Site?
Yes, because it was completely destroyed.
90%.
90% and rebuilt from that specific one?
No, that's the biggest castle in Poland, I think.
Yes. Which one was... Where is the one that was rebuilt and it's along the river?
I'm not sure. I just know that...
It was rebuilt from a painting.
Yeah, that's Warsaw.
Yes, that was what I was talking about.
Yeah, Warsaw was built from a painting.
That's what I was talking about.
They used a guy's paintings to model and rebuild it after the war.
Yes.
From cities to structures to churches to forests, and many of these places remind us of the great amazing story of the country. But unfortunately, one of these places has a story of darkness and regret. This is because one of the UNESCO zones within Poland is the Auschwitz concentration camp. Now, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I had totally forgotten that Auschwitz was in Poland. I always thought it was in Germany, but I guess
I have to be 100% honest. Before coming to Europe and living here and learning about Poland, I really also thought that Auschwitz was in Germany.
I think it's a big misconception because you think German Nazi concentration camp must be in Germany, but once you go into the details and you learn, you actually find out that it was in Poland.
I know that it was a very stupid thing, but I never, like I said, we weren't very clued up on anything. I mean, in school in South Africa, we didn't really go into detail about World War II. Well, you did.
If you did history, I went to a certain degree, but not like those details.
Yes, and I didn't take history, so yes, I also thought it was in Germany.
So thanks to these videos, it was clarified.
Yes, I was wrong. During the Second World War, there were 3 major concentration camps, Auschwitz 1, 2, and 3. As well, they had 45 other satellite camps around the area. And this was Germany's final solution to the Jew question, which resulted in the extermination of millions of Jewish people. As a matter of fact, these concentration camps were pretty much a prison for 1.3 million Jews. And throughout the entire genocide of the Second World War, these particular concentration camps contributed to the deaths of 1.1 million Jewish people. And they believe that Auschwitz was responsible for killing 1 out of 6 Jews that were murdered throughout the entire Holocaust. But however,
I still find that no matter how many times I hear it, no matter how many times I read about it, watch a video about it, I still find it absolutely crazy, like how that was done and seen as okay. Like if you're a human being, even if you're not a Jew, like how do you see that as right? To exterminate people?
No, you must be
messed up in the head.
There must be something seriously wrong with you. But my question to you is, would you go visit?
I would love to go and do a tour and to basically see what people went through. I think it's a very popular thing.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. Like going to that area. It's quite soul destroying.
Probably, but I mean, it's part of the history and it's, I guess, a very big tourist attraction now that they've made it, but I feel it's very sensitive, probably.
Yeah.
However, the Soviets managed to find Auschwitz and freed the people on January 7th, 1945, making it International Holocaust Remembrance Day. And you may wonder, why is this place a UN?
I also read somewhere, when we were also watching something about Auschwitz, is that the rest of the world didn't know that it was happening. Like, that's why he mentioned how the Soviets found Auschwitz.
Yeah.
So the Germans were literally taking Jews without the world knowing and sending them there. It was a secret location and no one knew what was happening. That's how they were managed to do it. That's how they got it right.
It's crazy how you compare it to today's day and age where anything that happens right across the world, everyone knows about it. Like it's
one video and it's viral.
Yeah, and it's viral and information is at your fingertips right now. And back then you could be, hiding 1.2 million people somewhere and the world didn't know about it. I mean,
different time.
It's absolutely crazy.
UNESCO zone, if it's such a very dark spot in our history, one that we would probably rather forget. Well, in 1947, Poland founded the Auschwitz-Birkenau State Museum, and by 1979, the camp was inscribed because although there may have been terrible moments in history, it reminds us to move forward and never return to these terrible times. But today, Poland stands as a very interesting country, as they contribute to peacekeeping missions, joining NATO on March 12th of 1999. They've also joined in relief operations in Iraq and even Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. And throughout the years, Poland has been moving forward to recognize individual thought and progress. As in 1989, it held its first free elections in over 40 years, thus bringing in a non-communist government. As well as one thing that's really interesting about Poland is they have 17 Nobel Prize winners. Their first one was in 1903.
You got it.
Which Maria Curie won for physics.
Not
and
Maria.
On top of that, she even won a second time in 1911 for chemistry. And out of all these 17 Nobel Prizes, 4 of them are for peace. One thing that's really interesting about the Polish is that they have 32 letters in their alphabet.
Not 25, 32, and we know. And they all sound different.
Though the alphabet is based off of a Latin alphabet, they have multiple accents and some letters that look like English ones, but actually sound very different. For example, W sounds more like a V. Have you ever heard of KGHM? Well, probably not if you're from another country, but one thing that's interesting about this Polish company is it is a copper and silver production company that employs 34,000 people around the world, and although it is owned by 32% of the government, it ranks as 10th in the world when it comes to providing copper for the entire planet. Either way, Poland remains
Didn't know that.
a cool and interesting country to visit.
I cannot wait to see that with,
look at
with
that.
my own eyes.
Look at that picture.
Like, I'm so tired of seeing it on a screen. I just want to go there and see it.
Can someone please tell me where this is? Like, where is that exact hiking spot?
And even the picture that was before that.
It's somewhere in the south, somewhere near Zakopane, I would say, but where is that photo? Where's that video?
We want to go there.
There may be a lot of places to go, but let's not forget their food, which they're famous for.
Oh, yeah, and we're going to find out next week.
Food.
We're gonna do like 4 days of food, Polish food.
I've literally started fasting, getting ready for Poland.
Oh my goodness!
5,000 to 6,000 calories a day, just
Wow.
Polish food.
Wow.
I want to have 20 pierogies in one sitting.
Okay. Well, we can do that.
We can do it all. We've got so much to try. Like literally, we've dedicated so many videos just to Polish food. Like,
Oh yes, and
Oh.
we also come from a country where we're big foodies,
big foodies.
big
Big
in our
foodies.
tradition with food, and we had a small taste of what Polish food has, the Polish cuisine has to offer, and it's just making our mouths water thinking about it. But we have a list ready of all the stuff that we're trying, and yes, super excited.
For pastries and pierogies, but there's also many historical buildings and amazing places to get in touch with nature, such as the Wrocław Zoo. It is also a place that is home to over 250 castles. That's a lot. And because of these amazing places, in 2013,
And the oldest castle in the world.
they had over 15 million visitors come into the country. And as of today, Poland is the 17th most visited country in the entire world. So there you
Wow.
have it. That is a brief look at Poland. Most likely we'll get into a part 2, diving into more history and food and culture. Anyways, my name's Dave Wall.
That was actually surprisingly a very, very, very good video. Like there was a lot there that just built on what we already know.
Yeah, no, it was kind of a summary, and here and there was something new that we'd learned. But yes, overall, good video, good.
I like all the imagery used, and just like kind of reminds me of what the country is like so beautiful, which we obviously very keen to visit. But there's just so much that I think one can do in Poland. That like one trip is obviously not enough. I think you need to basically spend months of traveling to kind of get a full picture of what the country truly has to offer.
I definitely agree.
And what's crazy is this video was made like 5 years ago, and since then it's become even more of a tourist like hotspot destination.
Yeah,
Like a lot of people visit not just Wrocław but the rest of Poland because it's cheap, because it's a beautiful country, and you get to experience so much in just one place.
yeah, no, I agree. And the culture and the food and everything, it's just, I think it's going to be an amazing time for us.
Yeah, 100%. If you've got any cool recommendations of other places, give us a drop in the comments down below of what you think. And
Also, let us know where you're from. We're, like I said, we're very responsive with our comments. We enjoy reading everything. We really do appreciate everyone that watches our videos and comments and likes and subscribes. It like he said at the beginning, it really fuels our motivation to create more and learn more. And I already know a little bit of Polish. I've been learning. So I think I'm going to have a better time communicating with people than someone over here.
Google Translate will help me, but someone said though that Google Translate doesn't
They
work
don't pronounce
from
correctly.
it does it well from Polish to English, but not English to Polish.
Yeah.
But we'll see, and we'll make the most of it. Unfortunately, I think going to a big city, like English will still be acceptable.
Yes.
But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that you stay up to date with all of our latest videos. This is us for today. So beyond borders.
Over and out. Do widzenia.